Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making these fabulous summer rainbow shorts. These are so much fun to make. You can make them in rainbow colors like I did, or you can choose whichever colors you want. But I'll get into the supplies, and then I'll get into the frequently asked questions about sizing, and then we'll get into making these shorts. I'm so excited. So thank you to all these brands for providing the yarn for this project. I'm using all kinds of acrylic scrap yarns that I just had in my stash of rainbow colors. We have a bunch of Lion brand yarns here. There's paint box yarns here, and then Knit Picks We Crochet has a Brava yarn here. So you can use any worsted weight yarn. I used probably, I would say, less than 400 yards of yarn for this project. You might need more if you're making a bigger size, obviously, but I just used a bunch of different colors here. So I would say get 2 skeins of yarn if you're getting like the same color, 2 balls of yarn, and you'll be able to make your shorts if you're just going to do a solid color. I'm going to be using an H size crochet hook, which is 5mm. This crochet hook is from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. Go check that shop out. You can get spindle hooks or fabulous crochet hooks that are ergonomically cut to fit in the palm of your hand, and they are so wonderful. Whether you crochet like holding a pencil or crochet like holding a knife, these are so wonderful and so comfortable to use. So we are using an H size hook, which is a 5mm hook today, and we need a yarn needle and a scissors along with a stitch marker, just so that we mark the front and back of this middle area when we make the leg holes. So I do have a measuring tape here. These shorts will fit my son. They are very stretchy, as you can see. So the hips on this one is about 24 inches around. That's going to fit, obviously, a child. But the ones I made for myself, and I do share this in the tutorial leading up to each part where we measure, these ones will fit a 40-inch hip, which is going to fit me. So, and you can make this part obviously long, however long you want. I have a mommy belly, so I want to cover my tummy, but my son is very short, so I just made a little shorts here. So you can make it however long you want, and you can make your leg holes, your leg length as long as you want as well. You can even make these up to pants, I don't know. So they look really good. So that is information about sizing, and throughout this tutorial I do share how much you need to go to make it the size you want, so just stick with that. And also it has a little drawstring in here, so even if your waistband is a little too big, if you did make it, because I did say in the beginning of the video where you'll see that where it says make your hip size, so if you need to make your chain a little bit bigger, you can cinch it in, which is really nice. So those are all the supplies you need. That's all the information about sizing. Thank you to everyone who provided this yarn, and thanks to my dad who's filming this whole tutorial here. He's behind my shoulder zooming in so that everybody can see, and then he's going to upload this, edit this, and put it on YouTube, and he did all the photography for it. And I have to thank my son, who's going to be modeling these cute little shorts and pictures for me. So thank you for watching, and before you begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribers mean so much to us, and make sure you hit the thumbs up, like this video. If you make these, please share a photo on either our Facebook group, our Facebook page, or on Instagram, #YARNutopia. Let's get started and make these summer rainbow shorts. Alright, to start out, we are going to start with a red color. You can start with any color you'd like. We're going to make a slip knot, so put your short end over your long end, and then fold this down, and then pull your long end through, and pull tight. And there's your slip knot. Insert your hook, kind of pull your working yarn, which is your long end, a little tighter around your hook, and we can begin. So to start off, you need to actually measure the waist, between the waist and hip of the person you are making these for. If they're yourself, just wrap measure tape around you and measure that, and that is how long you need your chain to be. It's got to be an even number. I am going to chain 70. That will fit my toddler's 24-inch waist. For my shorts, the one that I made for myself, I chained 100. Okay, so you can chain in between, or and I'm usually a size extra large, so just yarn over and pull through, and these are your chains. Okay, so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not going to make you watch me chain all of them, but just chain as many as you need to kind of lightly stretched wrap around your body, okay, or the body that you're making these for. That is kind of how I started making these. So it's not really a specific stitch count, as long as it's an even number and it kind of fits around you little loosely around where between your waist and hip measurement, kind of like below your navel. Okay, so I'm going to chain 70 and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I chained 70 here, as you can see, just a long chain. I was going to mention, if you wanted to start out with a foundation double crochet, if you're more of an advanced crocheter, you can do that. Just do as many stitches as you need to fit around your body. So for the beginning here, I'll have 70 stitches for mine. But I just did a simple chain for the beginner crocheter. So what we want to do without twisting this chain, we're going to lay it out and kind of just measure real quick. You can do this if you need to, but I'm just going to lay it out on my table here and kind of measure it. And make sure that's slightly stretched. Okay, like I say slightly, like not taut like this, but just slightly stretched. It needs to be between 22 and 24 inches. So without stretching, it's about 20 inches. And my son's waist slash hips are like 22, 23 inches. So stretched, it does meet that. This acrylic yarn is pretty stretchy, so that will fit. So I did 70 chains there, okay? So now what we're going to do, again, without twisting our chain, we're going to bring the first chain over. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just kind of flip it like this, flip it. Okay, and I'm going to go into the back ridge. As you can see here, if you twist your chain a little tiny bit, don't twist it, you know, where it's too twisted, but there's little bumps on the back of the chain. You want to work in those. Or you can work in really any loop of the chain, but I like to work in those. It's a cleaner edge. So just go in with your hook on that first chain over by your slip knot. Okay, and then take your yarn and pull it through and through the loop on your hook. Okay, and now we have created a big ring, just like this. Okay, and again, it's stretchy, so that will fit around him. Okay, now we're going to chain up 2. So if you did the foundation double crochet method, just don't twist your work, just slip stitch to the first stitch, and then chain up 2, and fast forward this video to round 2 and I'll show you what to do there. But I'm going to go on to round 1 and we are going to chain up 2. Okay, just like that. And we are going to double crochet into that same chain because this chain up 2 does not count as anything. So we're just going to double crochet. So what I do is just yarn over, go into that chain. Okay, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's a double crochet. So we'll be doing double crochets for this whole project. So we're going to hop to the next chain, yarn over, go in. Okay, stick with the first round. It's going to be kind of difficult working in chains, but after round 1 it's not as difficult, I promise. So just double crochet into each chain around, and then once you have all the stitches, remember I have 70 chains, so I need 70 stitches on round 1. So however many chains you have, you should have that many stitches on round 1. Okay, so this is what it'll start to look like. Cool. So I'm going to double crochet all the way around, and then I'm going to grab orange, and we are going to change color and go on to round 2 next. Alright, I just double crocheted in each chain around, so this is what my work looks like, and we have to attach and close round 1. So what I've been doing for this pattern is going into the first double crochet, so skip this chain 2 here, 1, 2, go into this first double crochet stitch right up top here, and then yarn over and pull through and through. And then since I'm changing color every round, I am going to fasten this off. If you are not changing color, chain 2, turn your work around, so we're looking at the inside of the shorts, and then go on to round 2 with me. But I am going to change color, so I'm going to chain 1, okay, I'm going to cut this yarn, okay, and I'm going to pull that all the way through and pull that tight. Okay, I'm going to get rid of red. I'm going to turn my work, so we're looking at the inside. If you can look at your work like this, this is the right side, WS in the written pattern, because you can see these sideways V's like this. Do you see that? Sideways V's. You can see them. But when you turn your work around to the back side, or BS, back side, or wrong side, I guess, WS, sorry, BS, my bad, I just BS, sorry, okay, you can't see those until you turn it this way closer towards you, so this is WS, sorry, I didn't mean it, WS is wrong side is inside, wrong side is back side, so this is the back of your work, so it's the inside of the shorts. Okay, so you can't see those sideways V's if you look at it this way. So if we turn it to this side, which is the right side, RS, okay, that is the outside. Okay, so we're going to turn it to the inside for round 2, and we are going to insert our hook where we slip stitched, right here into this stitch. Okay, we're going to grab orange. And what I do is just fold it like this on my finger and hook it on my hook and pull it through. Okay, there are all kinds of different attaching methods, but that's how I do it. I'm going to take the red strand and go this side, and the orange strand is just going to be left in the back. And we're going to take our working yarn and chain 2. Okay, we're going to pull that tight. Now what we're going to do is front post double crochet on this post, on this first double crochet stitch right there. So yarn over, front post, double crochet on the first double crochet stitch there. So go on this side of the post, around it to this side, then yarn over, hook that, pull it through. Okay, so we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2, just like a regular double crochet. But now we've made a ribbing effect on that. Okay, on the next stitch right here, we are going to back post double crochet. So we are going to yarn over, go to the back of your work now, around the post, to the back again, then yarn over and pull it through. You have the 3 loops on your hook, finish off your double crochet like regular, like normal, just like that. And then we're going to alternate those 2 stitches all the way around. So yarn over, go around the next one in the front, to the back, to the front again, just like that, around it. This is a front post double crochet, make your double crochet around there. Okay, back post double crochet on the next stitch, yarn over, go to the back of your work, around the post, to the back again, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And we're just going to alternate those 2 stitches all the way around to create the waistband of our shorts. See that? How cool. So let's do that, and then I'll come back and show you how to go on to round 3. Alright, I'm finishing this round with a back post double crochet. Yours might be a front post double crochet on the last stitch. Ignore this chain 2 here and slip stitch to the first front post double crochet stitch. That finishes off round 2. And since I'm changing color every round, I'm just going to change color just like I did with this first round into second round. So I'm just going to chain 1 and cut my yarn. If you're not changing color, just chain 2 and turn your work. But I'm going to cut my yarn, so I'm going to chain 1, cut, pull, and pull. Then turn my work, and we're looking at the inside here. I'm going to grab yellow, and then we're going to attach our yarn where we slip stitched last, so in here. Okay, and row yellow, I was going to say. Row yellow is going to be pretty much the same as last round. So we are going to, for round 3 here, chain 2, 1, 2, okay? And on the stitches that look like front post stitches, we're going to front post, and on the stitches that look like back post stitches, we're going to back post. So this one is first, so we're going to front post double crochet on that one. Okay, and then on the next one, looks like a back post, so we are going to back post double crochet. Okay, so basically just repeating the last round. So do that for round 3, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to go on to round 4. Alright, I'm ending this round with a back post double crochet on the last stitch right there. Again, ignore the chain up 2, 1, 2, and go into the first front post double crochet stitch right there. Yarn over, pull through and through. Again, I'm going to change color. So chain 1, cut your yarn, and pull that through, and pull tight. If you're not changing color, just chain 2 and turn your work. We're going to turn our work around. I do suggest as you go, maybe after every 4 or 5 rounds, just sew in these ends, just because they do get to be a lot, and you don't want to end up dealing with that in the end. So again, insert your hook where you slip stitched right here. Grab your next color. Mine's green. Hook that on and pull it through. And then for round 4, we're just double crocheting around. We're not doing front post or back post or anything. That was the waistband of the of the shorts. So we are going to chain 2, and now we're going to work in each stitch. So yarn over, go into this next stitch right here. Okay, and I'm going to work over the top of my yellow, which is the previous row color. I'm going to work over that straggler yarn so I don't have to sew it in later. And we're just going to double crochet into each stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch. Okay, I'm going to hold this over. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and just double crochet into each stitch around. Super simple. No more front post, back post, or anything. Okay? When we come back around, we are going to put a stitch in this stitch where we chained up 2. Because the chain up 2 does not count as a stitch, we need to put our stitch in there so we have our full amount of stitches around. So we don't lose any stitches, or skip any stitches, I should say. So we're going to do that, and then I'll come back and we'll go on to round 5 together. Alright, just finishing up round 4 here. We gotta, remember like I said, work a double crochet into this stitch even though our chain 2 is there. That never counted as a stitch, so we are going to make our double crochet in there. And then we're going to slip stitch to the first double crochet. So ignore the chain 2 here and go into the first double crochet, yarn over, pull through and through. Again, if you're going on to the next round, just chain 2 and turn your work. I am going to change color. Oh, I almost cut my finger. You missed it. Ouch. Pull this through and pull tight. Oh my god. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Okay, turn your work. I'm grabbing blue, and I'm going to hook it into where I slip stitched here. Okay. So now we are going on to do the increase, okay, because the back side, our back side has a curvature that increases where our hips get bigger. So each round now we are going to put 2 double crochet in the first stitch, and then double crochet into each stitch around until the very last stitch where we hooked on our hook here, and we're going to put 2 double crochet in that last stitch. Okay, so follow along with me. We're going to chain 2. Okay, we're not working anything in here yet. This is considered our last stitch. Okay, so in this first stitch here, we are going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2, both in that same stitch. Okay, then we're going to double crochet into each stitch around, just like last round, just double crocheting into each stitch. Oopsie. There we go. Okay, and like I said, I was going to crochet over the top of this straggler so that I don't have to sew it in later. I highly recommend you sew in your ends as you go because it is a lot of color changing. Unless you're not changing any colors and you're making a solid pair of shorts, easy peasy, and that's great. It'd be cool to see these actually in a solid color, but my son Nas wanted rainbow shorts, so I couldn't say no. So here we are. So we're just double crocheting in each stitch just like this. Cool. So I'm going to come back around, and when I get to this last stitch I'll show you putting 2 double crochet into there, and then we'll go on to the next round. Alright, we're on the last stitch here where our chain 2 is. I'm putting 2 double crochets in there. 1 and 2. Okay, then we're going to slip stitch to the first double crochet, so ignore the chain 2 here, just go into the first double crochet, yarn over, pull through, and through. So now as you can see, there's 2 double crochets in the last stitch and 2 double crochets in the first stitch. So what I'm going to do is cut my yarn here. Let's see here, chain 1, cut my yarn. If you're not changing color, just chain 2 and turn your work. Pull that. I didn't snip myself that time. Okay, turn your work around, and now the rest of this pattern, or the rest of this part of the pattern, is going to be basically repeating that round, round 5. Okay, so we're going to grab the right hook, insert your hook into where you slip stitched last, hook on your next color, pull it through, chain 2. And just repeat that last round. So in this first stitch, which you can see here, it should look like a 4 double crochet grouping. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this stitch and this stitch, which are the 2 middle stitches of the 4 double crochet grouping, those 2 will have the increases. Okay, so 2 in this one and 2 in this one. Does that make sense? So this last stitch where my chain 2 is right here, this will have 2, and this one right here will have 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to increase until your hip measurement is at the biggest it needs to be. Okay, so put 2 double crochets in here, 1 and 2, and you may need to do this for, I would say, 8 to 12 rounds. You might need to do more, depending on if you want a high-waisted or a low-rise shorts. You know, it's really up to the creator who is wanting the size or the design of their shorts to be. But this is just a basic shorts pattern, which is really fun because you can, you know, make it however long or short you want. So my yarn got tangled here. Let me grab it. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to double crochet, then one double crochet in each of the rest of these stitches around until I get to the very last stitch, and then in that very last stitch I'm going to put 2 double crochets, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning. Okay, so I'll show you that, and then I'll let you be on your own until you need to make this as long as you want, and then I'll show you how to make the legs. Alright, I'm finishing round 6 here and putting 2 double crochets in that last stitch where my chain up 2 is, right there, 1, 2, slip stitch into the first double crochet, yarn over, pull through and through, chain 1, and cut and change color. So we're just going to repeat that until our piece is going to start to kind of widen a little bit. So you can see here it's already starting to widen like that. So I'll show you the pair of shorts that I have done off camera. The size large ones that I have here are the ones that'll fit me. I did, let me flip them. So round 6 is here. So round 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I did 20 rows of this increase here. Okay, so as you can see, the 2 and 2, 2 in the 2 double crochet in the first stitch, just double crochet around, and 2 double crochet in the last stitch. And I did that for 20 rows, okay, for this one, because I like really high waist to cover my mom tummy. But for my sons, which I didn't finish yet here, we're going to finish on camera, I did 9, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows, which I count round 5 as the first increase. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, and his will be a little bit more of a low rise because he's so tiny. So that is where we're going to end up. So you can go on to make yours however long you need it. If you want, you know, high rise, full coverage, or if you want low rise, you don't have to do as many rounds. So just really however long you want, this will cover your midsection, and then we are going to make the leg holes next. So we're going to grab our yarn and I'll show you how to do that next. So why don't you pause this, finish up your rows, and then come back and we will make the leg holes next. Alright, to make the leg holes, I have a stitch marker here. We are going to actually, where this point is, where the increases are, we're going to actually fold this in half like this. Wait, zoom out a little bit here. So you're like this. This is the back of your work here. We're going to turn it and flip it like this. So this is the back and this is the front, okay? And we're going to make the leg holes at this point. So we're going to mark from the back, make sure it's lined up to the front. And we're just going to mark a stitch right in front here. I'm going to mark this stitch, okay? Then you want to count, actually that doesn't look right, we're going to count this stitch. Then you want to count the stitches along this side, this side to the marker, and then you want to count, flip it around, and count from this side to the marker. It should be the same amount of stitches, okay? Once you have that done, you want to turn your work to where you are going to be working your next row. So for me, I'm going to be working on the inside, so I'm actually going to flip this inside out. You might not have to do this part, but wherever the other side is, it has to be on the outside, okay? So your working side needs to be on the outside, okay? And then we're going to insert our hook right in here where our start spot is, and we're going to hook on our color. For you, if you're not changing color, you can just chain 2, okay? And for the leg hole, so we are going to work across here, chain to here. And for you, for size small, for my son, super extra, extra, extra small, I'm going to chain 8. For my shorts, my giant shorts up here, you can see at the base here, I chained 12, okay? So you can chain 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12, up to you. But we have to chain across to the other side, okay? So what we're going to do is chain loosely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many these? Excuse me, 7 and 8. Okay. And then we're going to slip stitch to, whoops, my yarn needs to be behind my hook, there we go, that first spot. So yarn over, pull through, and through. Cool. Now we have something that looks like this. These are our leg holes. So what I'm going to do now is chain 2 here, like this, and you can work across here, or you can just continue to work around and end here. Okay, if that makes sense. So you can go either way, that way or that way. Okay, I'm going to go this way because this is where my work is working. So we're going to double crochet into the stitch where our stitch marker is. Okay, this chain 2 does not count as anything. Okay, and we are going to double crochet into each stitch around and each chain. So I'll show you that when I get to the chain, but just double crochet into each stitch on this half of the shorts, and then once I get to the chain part back here, I'll show you how to go across the chain and we'll attach to the first stitch. Alright, you want to double crochet where your first chain, where you're connected, your first chain here. We're just going to double crochet in there, and then we're going to double crochet into each chain in the middle here. So I like to, like I said, work in the back ridges, so I'm going to turn this towards me and work in this back ridge here, because for the other leg we'll work on those two strands there. Okay, so just like this, I'm just working a double crochet into each of the chains. Make sure you work into the chains and not around the chain, because the other leg needs to work in the chains as well. So this is for both legs. Okay, so you can see there, and you want there to be, well, for me I chained 8, so there should be 8 stitches across here. Okay, and then once you get to the very end, you can slip stitch to the first double crochet stitch right there. Yarn over, pull through, and through. Okay, and if you are not changing color, just chain 2, turn your work, and continue working the next 2 or 3 rounds. Okay, or however long you want the leg to be, really, it's up to you. I'm going to chain 1 and cut this, pull it through, and pull tight. Okay, and I'll show you how to do the other leg right away. So for the other leg, there's no chaining involved. We are going to attach our yarn to this spot where the other one was, where our slip stitch from that previous round was, right there in that spot. Okay, that is where we are starting. Perfect. And we are going to chain 2 in that spot. 1, 2. Okay, and we're going to double crochet into that same stitch, because the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And now we're working 1 double crochet into each stitch until we make it all the way around to here. And when I hit the stitch marker, I'll show you how to come back around, and we will slip stitch to this stitch here. So I'll show you how to do that next. Alright, I come back around here to the stitch marker, and we are going to double crochet where that stitch marker is, in that stitch. And then we're going to work along the opposite edge of our foundation chain here in the middle. So we're just going to yarn over, work on the opposite end of where these stitches are, and make double crochets along the edge of that. So I should have 8 stitches in between here. You might have more or less, but I recommend actually the least 2 the least chains in the middle here should be 8. And then for my legs, I put 12 on mine, but you could do more if you have bigger thighs. But 8 is a pretty good low number. Okay, and then this beginning chain here. Okay, and then we're just going to slip stitch to the first double crochet. Yarn over, pull through, and chain 1 and cut that yarn. If you're not changing color, just chain 2, turn your work, and go on to the next round. I am going to have to sew in some of these stitches here. There we go. Alright, next step is to grab yellow. And we are going to now, we can remove the stitch marker, but there's the shorts. Cute! You could just have the one round and just have that, but I want to make longer legs. So I think I'm going to, you want to now turn your work. So I'm looking at the inside here, and we're just going to grab on the new color and just chain 2 and double crochet in each stitch around. And that's for both legs. So just chain 2, double crochet around, slip stitch to the beginning double crochet, and go on to the next round repeating the same concept. Turn your work every round and make your shorts, your legs, as long as you want. I'm going to do 3 rounds, and so that was round 1. This is round 2 of the leg. So I'm going to do one more round after this one, and then I will most likely fasten off. You can do as many rounds as you want. Once I am ready to fasten off on this leg, I'm just going to move over to this leg and do the same thing. So once I finish both of my legs, you'll come back and see the final product. Alright, so I finished, I did this round up with you on camera, this round with you, and then I did these 2 rounds off camera here. And you can make your legs as long as you want them to be, but this is what I came up with, and I'm happy with this length. So the very last thing I did was make a drawstring, because this waist is really stretchy and you don't want it to be sliding down. So we need to have a drawstring on these. So what I did is just made a slip knot and just chained double the amount that you had on your foundation chain here. So on mine I had 70 stitches, so I made a chain of 140 chains here. And all I'm going to do then is yarn my needle just like this, and then I'm going to go to the inside, kind of turn this around here, okay, go to the center here, and then I'm going to go from inside because I want the drawstring to kind of be hidden and the bow to be on the inside. You could have it on the outside, totally up to you, but I want mine on the inside, and we're just weaving it in and out of our front post and back post double crochet stitches on round 1 here. Okay, and then that's all we're going to do. And that's it. That is the summery rainbow shorts. I mean, yours might not be rainbow, but I love the rainbow colors, and my son Nas, he chose these colors. I had like different shades of each color, so I had like a lighter red and a darker red, and he chose this red, and then we did that with orange, and then we did it with each of the colors of the rainbow. So that was really fun. He got to choose every one of the colors. And yeah, big thank you to all the yarn companies that provided the yarn for these projects. I have Lion Brand yarn, I have Knit Picks, I have some paint box yarn. The yellow is paint box yarn, and then I have, yeah, I think that's it, Lion Brand, Knit Picks, and paint box. So thank you everybody for providing the yarn for this project today. I'm almost done weaving in and out of these shorts. And that's it. So then, all I did at the end here is just stretch this out, make sure it's even. Oops. Really bad at that. There we go. Okay. And then we could tie that on the inside. But I just want to cut these stragglers shorter. And that's it. And then they can just go on the inside. There they are! The shorts are complete! I hope you learned how to make shorts your size and you can rock these shorts all summer. If you have made these, please share a photo on Instagram, #YARNutopia. Share it on the Facebook page. Make sure you like all of our pages and follow us on all social media. Thanks to my dad back here who's filming the whole tutorial, editing it and doing the photography and posting it up on YouTube for everybody. Make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, happy hooking!